Welcome back. Romance was in the music last year, and Rihanna topped the charts with her new song, We Found Love.
We found love in a hopeless place.
I wonder if it was with the whips and chains. That excited her a little too much.
LMFAO was in hot pursuit of the queen of dysfunctional relationships with their anthem to self-importance, I'm sexy and I know it. Note to LMFAO. If you have to tell yourself you're sexy, chances are you probably aren't.
Probably not.
Well, I suppose the objectification of male genitalia had to occur at some point. Wiggle, wiggle.
Wiggle, wiggle?
Wiggle, wiggle.
Lady Gaga released her new video. It was a 13-minute, look at me, whoring extravaganza. But how can you find 8 minutes out of a 5-minute song?
Romance was in the movies as well. Breaking Dawn, the latest in the Twilight saga, was the #1 film in America. A young lady has to choose between a cold man or a hot animal. Nothing says romance more than an unwed teenager surrounded by blood-sucking individuals.
I didn't know 16 and Pregnant was a movie.
It wasn't.
Oh, well, I saw Tower Heist. I felt robbed.
Oh, I took my nieces to see Happy Feet too. Chaz Bono was so much lighter in his feet in that film than he was on Dancing with the Stars.
No Strings Attached and Friends with Benefits were the rom-com hits of last year. And for those of you in my age bracket, rom-com, romantic comedy. I had no idea. I had to Google it. Did you know?
Yes.
Oh, well, you're not in my age bracket. Anyway, both movies promoted non-committal sex, and as we all know, that promotes lasting happiness, right?
Oh, absolutely. The Help was a blockbuster film of the past year, giving it the coveted Dances with Wolves Award, which is for the Best Picture, which makes people feel for the characters and then promptly forget every lesson learned once they leave the theater.
Well, let's keep this love train going as we introduce our co-anchors, Todd and Javier.
Take it away, boys.
The year of 2011 was a year of great changes and more of the same.
True.
We occupied the cities, but did not change the behavior.
For example, a Kentucky church banned an interracial couple from attending their church. Then they reconsidered it. The rest of America reconsidered calling the building they meet in a church.
Evidently, they found that their discriminatory vote was against the law. They then voted again and reopened their doors to everyone. It's funny how that happens.
True. Locally, a restaurant owner was surprised by the reaction to a poster showing a lynching with the caption, "Let's play cowboys and Iranians." His reaction to those who were offended, "It's my choice to have it up, it's your choice to go where you want to go, but I'm not taking it down." In other words, it's my First Amendment right to be a moron.
Houston attorney George Gammon pled guilty to possessing over 9,000 images of child pornography. The purveyor of pedophilia is out on bond and no date is set for him to report to prison. Since when do you need a date to report to prison? Hey pervert, Tuesday okay for you? How about Friday? Sheesh.
In other news, rapper Heavy D passed away. His positive style of rap was a joy and an inspiration.
Now that we found love, what are we going to do with it?
And to answer that question, our senior love correspondent, Pat Crowder. Pat.
Now that we've found love, what do we do? That's a very good question. And mankind has been asking that since the beginning of time. You know, these days, we look at reality TV as if it's reality. But in fact, it has nothing to do with real life. It is not and should not be our model for love. Take, for instance, the housewives shows, where most of those women aren't even wives. They're a collection of ex-roommates and relationship-seeking wannabes. Then there's Kim Kardashian's marriage. What was that all about? You know, you don't give up after 76 days of marriage. Did they really try? You know, when two people really love each other, they do whatever it takes to keep the relationship together. It's an emotional as well as a physical connection. Marriage is also a commitment, and when two people are committed, they do whatever it takes to keep it together. You know, my husband and I have been married for 16 years. He drives me insane. He makes me crazy. I could strangle him at times. But when I look into his eyes and I see the love there, it's all worth it. marriage is also a covenant. It's a covenant between you and your spouse and Jesus Christ. He's the glue that keeps it together. And there's going to be times when you don't want to be with that person. But if you keep God first, you can hold it together and come out on the other side with a positive resolution. Guys and girls, go out there and find that love and work it out.
Thanks, Pat. Last year, ICANN, the international not-for-profit that coordinates web addresses, will begin a new suffix .xxx that is just for porn sites. They feel that it will help porn sites be more easily identified. Some in the porn industry are rebelling against the designation, stating that it will make it harder for them to profit off the corruption of unsuspecting Americans.
You ever hit a porn site on accident?
No, I go in there on purpose.
Well, I tried to write my congressman a few years ago, and I went to whitehouse.com instead of whitehouse.gov.
Oof.
I've never seen that many scantily clad congressmen. Well, unless you count Anthony Weiner's Twitter feed.
That's true.
A third of all HISD students are failing to graduate from high school. A third of all parents of HISD students need to light a fire under their butts.